So I'm going to talk
Ah,
about Jamstack and React Native, particularly with Gatsby. Uh, so I'm Sébastien Lorbert. I'm a freelance React developer, and I'm interested in everything about cross-platform development, in particular React Native Web. You can follow me on Twitter or GitHub or whatever, and look at my website. So the talk today is about using Gatsby and React Native together. I did this not for profit. It's just for fun because I wanted to see if it was possible, and I wanted to use technologies like React Native, Expo, Gatsby, and MDX to see if it's possible to build a cross-platform content authoring experience. So to present a bit React Native Web, for a web developer, it's a bit like a CSS in JS library. It reuse React Native abstractions, and it has a Babel plugin that replaces at build time the React Native imports with React Native Web imports. So basically, the React Native components are re-implemented with web primitives. So here is a basic implementation of the view of React Native to make it compatible with the web. So basically, a React Native application built for the web is a React DOM application. It's just that you use the primitives of React Native. So to make this work on Gatsby, which is a static site generator, you have to handle a server-side rendering integration. So you have to be able to run the rendering of React Native Web in the server, in the Node server. So it's really similar to any CSS in JS library in Gatsby. So you render the app that you want to render, and then you extract the critical CSS and you append it to the DOM output to generate the HTML page. So this is the first version that I was able to get working in the Gatsby site. This is not very useful for now because there is just this page. So here I'm going to show you a React Native component. So it's a very simple button. It's just a touchable component with some text in the middle. So this component is cross-platform because you only use React Native primitives. Now let's see how you can use this button in the Gatsby page. So you just import it and then you put the button somewhere in the Gatsby page. The thing here is you can see there are DOM elements and React Native elements. The button is React Native. The link is a Gatsby. Is from Gatsby. It's a regular DOM link. So this page is not really cross-platform. So we couldn't use this code and run it in React Native as is. Here is an example of MDX, which is Markdown on which you can embed React components. So if you add a React Native button to this MDX, it should work fine. So I'm going to explain a bit more about Expo. So React Native has a lean core. It means that only very primitive components are provided, like a view, text, images, and things like that. Expo will provide many more SDKs, like the component for the camera, for having access to the file system, to display videos, to display QR codes, and things like that. And most of these APIs have a web support, like Evan Bacon explained yesterday. Basically, you can run Expo on top of by using the regular Expo workflow or by using the Webpack config on top of React App or on top of Next.js. So what I did is take this configuration and we worked with Evan Bacon to apply it to my Gatsby plugin. And basically, the thing is you take the original Gatsby plugin, the original Gatsby config, and you wrap it in a function provided by Expo, and then you have the Expo support on your Gatsby site. So this is my React Native Web plugin for Gatsby. So I'm going to show you a demo. So this is how I was able to run React Native components in my blog. So I have published a blog post recently. Here you can see the button that we discussed above. So this is only using React Native primitives. but it still works. So you can click on it and it does something. There are also other demos, like for example, I'm using React Native SVGs in this demo, and it's a cross-platform component that is able to render on the web and mobile, and yes, mobile. And this is another component that was published by Evan Bacon, which is a switch, and it works. I linked it to my Gatsby theme, so I can switch it directly from this component. There is also a camera demo, and we can also perform gestures. There is a video demo where you can see that a video is playing, and an image picker. So for example, I can take an image here and being able to rotate it and play transformations. So this is the first part of my talk. Now I'm going to show you if we can run this MDX in a React Native app. So here we do the opposite. So we take the MDX and we try to run this in a React Native app. So let's see how MDX works. So the input file of MDX is a simple markdown on which you have components. The problem is that when MDX compiles this markdown string, it gives you DOM elements like div, h1, p, and these elements don't work on React Native. So what you need to do to make this work, you have to add the MDX JSX pragma, which permits to use the MDX provider, and the MDX provider permits to somehow override the DOM implementations with React Native components. So somehow you are doing the opposite of React Native Web. You are converting DOM elements to React Native elements. It's a bit similar to the project Evan Bacon showed yesterday about HTML elements. And then what I built is a static mobile app generator. So basically, I take the folder of I have a blog with a lot of MDX files, which are my blog posts. I iterate on each of these blog posts, and I compile it with a function, and I write mdx.jsx to the file system. So how does this compilation work? So I take the MDX string, I extract the front matter, I export the front matter as an SX import. I compile the MDX content without the front matter, and I append the pragma at the top. So basically, it's just a string concatenation. So I'm generating a source code, a JSX component source file. Then I take all the generated articles and I put them in a list that I export so that I can display, for example, the root of my application where I list all the blog posts. So I need an index for that. Here's the way I render a specific blog post. So you can see that I render the header with the front matter because it has, for example, a hero image and a title and things like that. And I take the MDX content that was provided by the compilation step, and I put it in the React Native MDX provider that will permit to render it despite having DOM elements in the content. So here's the final demo. So you can take your Expo application, and if you have iOS, you have to log in because iOS does not permit to scan the QR code. So there is the login and the password here, or you can go to this URL and also see the QR code. And if you have Android, you can scan directly this QR code. So I'm going to show you the demo on a simulator because maybe you don't want to try on your phone. So here's a simple MDX component that I have. I am able to say, for example, hello React Europe. I'm going to do a commit because I want to show you something just afterward. It's part of the demo. What you can see is that I was able to live edit the MDX file here, which is like somehow a blog post, and it was fast refreshed, so it works for live edition. And here is the blog post list of my blog post. So I'm able to run my blog post in my React Native application. And if we look at this blog post, which contains a lot of React Native embedded components, you can see that the components that work on the web are actually cross-platform, so they are able to work natively on the mobile app. So I'm also able to toggle the switch here, for example. I'm also able to, I'm in a simulator, so I don't think the camera works, but you get the idea. The gesture also works. And there is also the ability to show the video, and the image picker also works. So when I did the commit, I have Netlify that will build my Gatsby website. But there is also a nice thing is that Expo is able to export your mobile applications to web. So basically, my commit permits to deploy 3 applications. There is my Gatsby blog, there is my mobile application, and there is my Expo website, which is basically the Expo app that I just showed you, converted to web. So everything is available as a. I'm not on the. So everything is available on 3 platforms. So this is all I have for you. I hope you like this talk.
Thank you, Sebastian. It was very awesome.
If you want, I will put all the links on Twitter. There is also the login of the mobile application, and if you want to follow me, I think I'm going to reach 2,000 followers today, so like just now. So thank you.